individual design. I'm the principal designer and founder. This is a picture of my office, slightly cleaned up, but the framed image on the left is by an artist called Anthony Burrell, and it says something very true. I like it, what is it? It's an interesting quality that mostly underlooked. We talked about business a lot, we are talking a lot about science and the whole process of thinking, and humans have an amazing capacity for intuition. And there's something about that moment where you see something and you already like it. You don't know what it does and what it could do for you, but you're already there. And for us, this is an amazing quality that we're trying to harness for our work. At New Deal, we try really hard to keep all the rational thinking there, but augment it with good emotional qualities, with good thinking about human sensibilities and sensitivities. And the topic of my short presentation here is to show you how sometimes very simple gestures are becoming an amazing tool in promoting technology and new types of products. So this is a very simple gesture that everyone has done. This is a kaleidoscope. And when I spoke a few years back with Ren Ang of Lytro about their technology, it became very apparent that the camera could be something as simple as that. And this is the Lytro camera we designed 3 years back. Now with that, the interaction of the device also came easily through, because then we thought maybe we actually need to create a continuum of all images from their quote-unquote camera roll all the way to the right to the new image that will come afterwards. We're now dealing with a lot of quote-unquote wearables. It's somewhat of a hyped topic. And one of the interesting things that we've done last year was creating an object for dogs. This is the whistle, which is an activity tracker for dogs. And the interesting thing about that you're now creating an object that is not necessarily about the dog or the owner, but about the connection between the dog and the owner. The connection that tells the owner that the dog was really played with correctly, had a lot of good time in the day, and now the dog is happy and very well in within the right health activities that it needs to do. Now, part of it is a whole bunch of software that Whistle is developed, but the object needs to be there to deliver that initial, what is it, and I like it. Now, we are moving forward into an arena where sensory technology allows you to do a lot of wonderful things, but we want to always inject some level of humanity, some kind of a very simple emotional connection with the object that really ensures you that you are in good hands. In this case, this is a heart gesture that we placed on a device that is coming up by a company called Sparkling. It's a new type of baby monitor that actually takes a lot of data and makes sure that young parents are feeling very comfortable with the state of the baby. Now, a lot of it, again, comes with software, but we always try to inject something very simple and sensible into our design that makes it intuitively, again, intuitively connect to the parents. Now, this is an interesting picture because that's the beginning of work we've done with Fitbit about, by now, 6-7 years ago. When we started working with Fitbit, the notion of wearables was not there yet. And we started lot about actually women and how they dress and what are the different dress codes through the day that they may switch. And we had many, many images of that. And we actually categorized something like 20 different types of outfits. And we knew that the device needs to really flow with the lifestyle of the person that carries it. From there, we actually got to analyze different positions. And that allowed us to create objects that are built for these positions. Objects that could be easily placed, could be worn with comfort, and to some degree be introverted. There's something interesting about technology. Technology today delivers a lot of data, but sometimes you don't want the data to mess up with your life. You want the object and the data to be somewhere in the background, doing what it's supposed to be doing, and just giving you really subtle cues about how you should go about your life. No more and no less than that. And part of the story of wearing a device all day, we got to a conclusion that there's high likelihood people will put it in all sorts of places. And what happened with Fitbit is that the most common position at the beginning was what we call BFC, bra front and center, which was really no-brainer for all the women designers who worked on that. But it was somewhat risque at the beginning to discuss it. So when we put the whole thing together, the introvert device, the intuition into it, we created a clip. And the clip usually looked non-techy. Only when you press the button, actually, you would illuminate a screen underneath that will inform you where you are. And we decided that we'll do that through a very simple gesture, just blossoming a flower. It is a progress bar in tech world speak, but it is also a flower. And what we found out that people really love the flower. Again, simple, intuitive, human ways of connecting small pieces of the data that really makes you feel at ease with the technology and allows you to go on with your life without stressing too much on it. Now, as we move forward, dealing with a lot of wrist devices nowadays, we found out that wrists are very complicated. The interesting thing is that the variability in human size is just unbelievable. Within our studio, we had about 30, 35 designers and engineers. We found out that the sizes of wrists vary by 100%. That means that between the smallest person and the largest person, we have nearly double the size of the wrist. And this is one element of designing for wrists. The other element is that people accessorize or not accessorize it. I don't like to accessorize much, but a lot of people love to accessorize. So now we're dealing with a situation where people are taking a piece of technology and assimilating it into their lifestyle and their style, and they need to feel comfortable and at ease with it. So one of the biggest challenges now we have is how do we accommodate not only the physical or the rational aspects of your use of technology, but actually something a little bit deeper, the emotional and psychological level. So when we're talking about objects like that, we need to create an object that is, again, considerate and has enough flexibility to allow you to accessorize any way you want. So the devices that we are creating now, this is the Force, which I'm wearing too, are taking all that into account. Now, one of the aspects of wearables is also the ability to be incorporated into completely different spheres of business. In this case, the Fitbit Flex was built to allow it to get into different shells. And that led to the Flex being incorporated in the latest announcement of Fitbit and Terry Birch into some kind of a jewelry line. Now, as we move forward, the next few years are going to be really interesting. There was a discussion earlier about democratization of design. The issue with democratization of design is not necessarily that each one of us will be a designer. It's the ability of many creators, many people to harness powers of design technology to their own use and create a vastly more rich economy. So if, let's say, 10 or 15 years ago, only very few companies could deliver high-quality product to market, today we are probably in a sphere where hundreds, and we'll probably have an environment where tens of thousands of companies will be delivering like really capable products of high quality, and things like wearables and so on and so forth. And part of that is allowing people to 3D scan their environment and 3D scan bodies and so on. And this is a device that we created with a company called Occipital. It's called the Sensor. And it's plugged onto an iPad and creates a very effective 3D scanner of everything, your surroundings, human body, and so on. So this is just the beginning, and you'll hear more and more about these free flowing 3D scanners, and they'll be essential to the creation of a new type of economy that is not necessarily the quote-unquote maker's economy. You're talking about a lot of small third-party applications, companies that actually feel empowered by those technologies. This is not necessarily you in the garage doing your own thing. This is about a lot of small businesses being empowered to create high-quality products. Which brings me to the last part of my presentation. We've been working with Motorola ATAP, now it's Google, to create a product that could be revolutionary in that form. This is Project Aura. This is a three-dimensional, 3D printed modular phone that allows you to project your personality, but also allows a lot of third parties to create modules for this phone. We created the industrial design. There's a great team behind it that is doing wonderful work on the technology piece of it. It's based on a concept called endoskeleton. It basically, we have a bus that is also a skeleton that creates enough affordances from an electrical and physical perspective to hold in a variety of modules. And that will allow a lot of people not only to create their own personal phone, but also to create modules for phones and sell these phones. So I took this whole 10 or so minutes to walk from intuition and how important it is, all the way through wearables and how they connect to our emotions. And now we're dealing with 3D technology, 3D printing, 3D scanning technology that will enable a lot of small companies to contribute to really the cutting edge of the technology and participate in this amazing new economy of many, many, many creatives around. That's all. Thank you.